Have you ever asked yourself, should I leave an inheritance for my kid? Not can I, not how much, but should I? Because maybe you've built something meaningful. Maybe you've got real assets now, your business, your properties, your portfolio. Maybe for the first time, you're not just thinking about taxes or investing or growth, you're thinking about legacy and what happens when you're gone. And if you're like a lot of successful parents, you're torn. On one hand, you want to give your kids every opportunity you didn't have. And on the other, you can see what entitlement can do. You've heard the horror stories of wealth destroying the drive of kids growing up soft or aimless or worse. That's the tension. And that's exactly what Tony Hawk's, no, not the American skateboarding legend Tony Hawk's, the British comedian, author, and radio personality Tony Hawk's. He unpacked it in this beautiful BBC series where he dives deep into what do I do with my estate, my will, and most importantly, his 11-year-old son, Arlo. And I wanted to share with you some of the thoughts that he had because I think it relates with some of the thoughts that you might have around inheritance and legacy and generational wealth. Because I feel like these thoughts are thoughts that are very normal. And sometimes it's hard to have the conversation. Listen to these as he explains this because I think that it's going to resonate well. He says, I've done well. I have more property than I need. I receive regular royalties from my books. And most people would think I would be building an inheritance for my son. But that's not what I want to do. I'm still speaking as if I'm Tony Hawk's. In my view, money that's gained through inheritance corrupts aspirations, it corrupts ambition, it makes a mockery of equal opportunity, and I think it has a corrosive effect on our society. Now, how many of you can relate with that? Like, it's very real, it's raw, and I think it's an important thing that we should be having. He's not just worried about his kid, he's questioning the entire idea of inheritance, and I really thought that was a powerful thing. One of the things he points out is that we're about to go through one of the largest we are in the midst of one of the largest wealth transfers in history. In his mind, he says this. To me, that just seems unfair. It means that rich families will keep getting richer and poor families will keep getting poorer because the rich families are giving an inheritance to their kids and the poor families aren't giving inheritance to theirs. So we think it's going to continue to drive the gap between the have and the have-nots. I think it's a valid idea. I disagree with it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's something that's on his mind, and it might be on your mind. He gets to the point where he says, the more I think about it, the more I think we should all be disinheriting our children and giving our money to charity. The thing I like about his attack here, and you can go listen to it on the BBC website, is he's torn because he feels like he wants to help Arlo, but he also wants to help society, and he also wants to give his money to charity, and he doesn't know how to do that in the best possible way. In his mind, this is very common. Like you hear people all the time, like, for example, Bill Gates just said that he's going to disband his private family foundation after he dies, which is billions and billions of dollars inside of it. Jeff Goldblum said he's not leaving anything to his children. This is a very common issue with people that have been very successful over their life. And I think it's a common thing that I want to have a discussion with you around because it's so common. But I don't agree with the conclusion that Tony Hawk's came to. I don't agree with the conclusion that Bill Gates came to. I don't agree with the conclusion that Jeff Goldblum came to. And in the rest of this, I really want to dive deep into, I believe that these people are having these struggles around inheritance because they've built their money up to be something that they have built, not that their family has built. It's been about them, not about their family. So there's a shift in mindset. So they're viewing it as, I'm just giving my money to my children. It's giving it to them. It's handing it to them. And we all know that that doesn't work. The amount of money that has been given to solve the world's problems, if money solved those problems, it would have solved already. In many cases, it makes things worse. In many cases, it doesn't solve a darn thing. If that's the mindset you have around inheritance, that I'm just giving money to my children, you're probably going to end up landing in the same thing. Now, some people will land on the side I should give away the money, and other people will land on the side that I won't. But if that's the mindset you approach it from, which is what the vast majority of all estate plans are created for, when are you giving the money to your child? How much? How is it distributed between the heirs? All of that. It's all centered on that. And that's where I believe people miss the boat. And if we're going to do generational wealth right, if we're going to do inheritance right, if we're going to do it in a way that actually changes people's lives, we can't have that mindset going into it. So we have to shift it from this is my money that I have created to this is our money, and this money is used for X, Y, Z purpose to fulfill whatever mission and values and doctrines that you personally have. So it's shifting it away from you and bringing it to this is our family's wealth. Now, this requires a shift not only in that thinking, but it requires a shift in how you actually raise your children. So many people abandon their families to build wealth. So they make all this money, but at the cost of their families hate them. You can't build generational wealth in that manner. You have to build a family that's connected to the value creation of what you're doing. So they're connected to the value creation that you're leaving on this earth, whether that's through your business, whether that's through your talents, whatever it is, they're involved in that value creation. They know why it's created. They know what money does. They understand the tool of money. They understand the values that your family stands for, and they're connected to your family almost like they're connected to a country. Like you create your own family tribe where this is what we do, this is how we behave, this is who we are, and because we are this way, this is what we do. That needs to be ingrained into your children. They're a part of the money-making conversations. They're a part of the business conversations. They're a part of the vision that you are setting for the future. The other problem that these people run into, the reason that they're making these decisions, is that they have set the destination of their wealth accumulation to end when they pass away. So I don't accumulate more wealth anymore when I pass away. Usually people, middle-class people, will do this at age 65 or 70. They put an end date on their wealth value creation. I accumulate all this wealth, I consume all this wealth. But that very same mindset is the same reason you don't want to give the money to your children, because you don't want them just to consume it. You don't want to ruin them. So you feel I have to consume it all or just give it away to random people, but you're trying to do that in a moral way. But the problem is that giving away to someone else is going to damage them just as bad as it's going to damage your child. They're probably not going to have positive results from it because they didn't earn it either. So you have to do things differently. So you have to create a family culture around money, which we've already talked about. But the second thing you have to do is you have to set a vision that goes beyond your death, that goes beyond your children's death, that pushes that out. I push it out 150 years, and then you're going to empower your future generations to push it out another 150 and another 150 so that they're bought into the actual vision of what you're trying to create. It's their vision, it's their mission, it's their money just as much as it is yours, and they're a part of that creation process. Now, you're not giving it to them, it's already theirs. They're already involved in the giving that happens. They're already involved in the value creation that happens because of the money that you have. They're already involved in the investments that happen from it. They're just continuing to fulfill your family's mission of the vision that you set. So many people don't have a vision of the future. And the problem with this is so many people don't have a vision of the future to age 40, to age 60. They don't even know where they're going. So how could they articulate something 150 years out? So this is the radical shift that you have to go through if you actually don't want to have this dilemma of inheritance, of generational wealth. Do I give it away or not? You have to shift this radically to this type of behavior where it's in a family ordeal. Here's a resource for you if you want to start building this family ordeal. The Legato Family Framework created by Rich Christensen is extraordinary at helping you create this family structure that's built into the why behind the money. Okay, so you're putting it out 150 years. No one actually gets money. No one is given anything. It's just the continuation of what you are already doing. So they're going to keep giving. They're going to keep investing. They're going to keep building businesses just like you were. I love this too. Like, oftentimes people struggle at like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with the money. I just want to spend. I don't want to consume. I don't want to trust fund. They still have to earn their own living. They just are continuing to build on what you have built, what they have built with you. It's not they versus them. It's not you versus them. It's us, what we have built. Okay? So we've created the family culture. We're doing things differently as a family. We're referencing the Legato family framework. We're pushing our vision not to die when we die or to age 65. We're pushing 150 years in the future. And now it's becoming, what do we do? Like, how do we access the money? It's going to be in private family foundations. It's going to be a trust. How do you actually access it? When do you get access to it? You need to be very deliberate within your own soul, with your spouse, with your children. What is it that you want to establish as what is this money going to be used for? I think it's best to tie it what you've already been doing it for, but here are a few ideas to kind of give you an insight into what you could do. So I think you should always be giving as a family. So a portion of the money will always be for giving. And one thing that a lot of parents hope for their families is they keep coming together. They stay together. They keep having family meetings and councils and get-togethers and retreats and things of that nature. There's nothing better in my mind to get the family together than to talk about where are we going to give our money to? Who are we going to give it to and why? Instead of you just giving it to random charities without any thought, they come together and they discuss. I want to give it to my school. I want to give it to this person because I think that we can help take them to the next level, or they're here. They get to decide as a group where the giving happens. That's an example. Another one is, instead of the money going to anyone, it goes to the maintenance of property. So the property is maintained so people have a place to come to as a refuge of, we come to this and this is the family's refuge, the family retreat center. We have beds, we have water. The funds fund that. The money that you're leaving funds the family coming together. It brings people together. Another one is the money is in a pot, but you can only access it if you go through a course on how to build businesses, create a business plan that's structured, that has backing, that isn't just fluff, that gets approved by a third party. And then the family will invest in you if you get to that point. So you had to do all this work. You had to go to school to develop the skills. You had to learn how to become good at that thing. And then when you're ready to start a business, the family will invest in you to go do that. Or you can only use this for education. Or you can only use this to get into homes. Or you can only do this for XYZ in good faith. So you define very clearly what it is you want your money, your family's legacy to actually go do. And that's in the 150-year mission. Okay? The reason that I think this shift needs to be so radical is because I actually believe it's selfish to give your money to your children, knowing that 92+% of people that give their money to their children have it spent and consumed within 10 years. Or just giving money to someone else. That's selfish. You're giving away your life's value to someone else because you don't trust your own family to continue it for you. Have faith in your family. Radically shift the way you view your family as your unit together that's building the wealth. They're a part of it just as much as you are. Let them be stewards of what you're already being a steward over. Trust them to do bigger and better things because of you, not in spite of you. And to me, the reason this is so transformational is because 150 years from now, when someone is born, that mindset of value creation, and we back each other and we give money and we invest in our family, that child is thinking a heck of a lot different than I am, than my children are today. They're not thinking around scarcity. They're thinking abundance, and it's been built into their genetics. It's been built into their mindset from the second that they were born. And now that person has both the mindset and the capital to go change the world and solve the world's greatest problems. So when Bill Gates says, I'm giving away my private family foundation, I think that is one of the most selfish things that you can do. I'm giving away $1 billion. Sounds nice on the surface, but it's selfish because he doesn't trust his family to continue what he is building. He's viewed it as he has built it, not we have built it. And I wish that so many more people and business owners would embrace this mindset, this way of thinking, because it would solve this problem of do I or should I leave an inheritance to my children? It's a 100% resounding, there is no inheritance. It's we just continue to produce and build wealth for generations. That's the definition of generational wealth for me. And that's what I wish Tony Hawks knew. That's what I wish Bill Gates knew. And though I love the language and I love the debate and I love the tearing of, like, I don't know what to do. And I think it's real. It's a real thing. But it's because they're coming from the perspective of I'm giving my money to my children without them earning it, versus they're already earning it and learning and giving and doing everything that needs to be done to be stewards of it now and in the future. I hope that this was helpful for you. I wish you the best on your journey. If you have comments, comment down below. What are you doing to leave a generational wealth? What are you doing to leave an inheritance? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Are you opposed to what I just said? I hope you are, because I don't think there's a right or wrong here, but I do believe that we can change the world by having this perspective versus accumulate and consume, accumulate and consume, accumulate and consume. Until next time, I'm Justin D. Maxwell. Thanks for watching.